Grand whatever Pleiasbians, party people, and they mamas. This is episode 38 of Poetry on the Patio with Pleiades, my podcast project. And this is February 23rd, 2026, which is the day that we are recording and posting this podcast episode. Yes, I am again behind still somehow. And in fact, I'm also using my father's phone because my storage problem is out of hand. It's a disaster, it's a mess. But this episode is titled Festival Time, and I'm again not sure how long this episode will be. We aim for 30 minutes of content, but unfortunately, these last couple of weeks, I don't think that has been the case. And also, I've been trying to grow my bangs out, and I think my hair just looks so weird. And I haven't dyed my hair again to be purple. So these parts are like brown and blonde and different colors of bronze. Honestly, the purple made it a little toned, I think, but I'm not really even sure if that's true. But anyway, let's get into this episode, Festival Time. So really, we're talking about festival time because of Jugglefest, because these last couple of days I was in Austin, Texas for Jugglefest, and it has been 1 month post concussion and 1 month post being in California, and again, I'm still traveling a lot between states, going to the West Coast, going to the East sort of coast, being in Alabama. I'm going to be back in Birmingham and Montgomery, Alabama, actually, in a couple of weeks, but in a couple of days, Zach will be back in Houston and we're going to be going back to Austin. And so right now, my life is still traveling back and forth between the cities, and I guess that's just how life is. And I am making a party out of it, which is fun. And so Jugglefest was incredible. I was so grateful to be there to witness such gorgeous acts and to see people who are way more talented and skilled than I am, and being so impressed and being so involved in this community. I want to get better, and I had found on this free table some juggling clubs, which is incredible because just a couple of days ago I got clubs for free. And if you guys know me from juggling, then you guys will know that I did not learn clubs very well. I'm not very comfortable with them, and I feel very awkward with them, and I feel like a good juggler, so I honestly I stay away from these things. Also, I did start juggling last year, and I started swimming last year too, so there's just been a lot of learning, a lot of movement, a lot of education, and that is the heart of this podcast too, right? Also, if you guys can see on my shirts, I'm wearing a J-Fest shirt. I didn't even go to J-Fest. This is House of J, it's not Jugglefest. But I just got a free shirt from one event, and yeah, I wear it because I like the shirt. And yeah, Jugglefest also was great because I got to see a lot of people that I love and care for, like Wiz, Jim, Scott, Krista, Vivi, her dad, Philip. We also have one of my friends, Will. I accidentally got a phone call on my dad's phone, so yeah, there was a little blip in the moment right there. But yeah, there was also Jerry, but I didn't get to talk to Jerry. And I met Nathan, whose party we went to at his house, which was awesome. And then a child, Riley, drew a picture of me, which was again awesome. But I'm also on my period, and menstruating really freaking sucks. If you guys know anything about that, then you guys know everything about how horrible that is. And yeah, I just want to say on that note again, how can you expect me to be on my best behavior when I'm disabled and doing my best to function, again, I want to see change. I want it to happen urgently, and I do feel bad when I can't have those things happen all at once. Again, I have a podcast that I have to post every single week, and I put those regulations and rules on myself, and I enjoy the consistency of this conversation. I feel like it moves my life forward in positive ways, which is ultimately why we live this life, right? To create work, to be creative, to reflect, to ponder, to understand, to be happy. And this project means a lot to me. I get to learn about myself and I get to learn about the world, and I hopefully get to share that experience with others. And again, I feel so behind because of the concussion and because of everything. But again, we keep it pushing, right? We keep those conversations going. I don't even know who my interview is going to be with, and that is supposed to be posted next week. Hello, where am I? So yeah, I'm gonna call some people up and see what I can do, because ultimately that's how you turn your life around. You call people up and you ask for help, and people you love will be there for you. And yeah, I love getting to visit with people that I love. Again, talking about Jugglefest, I got to see Joaquina. You guys know about the Clockina, and I still have the Clockina, but I've been traveling a lot, so it remains like in my backpack or in my luggage. And you know, my room is where the podcast has been, even though it's been called on the patio. And then again, you know, like sometimes I'm doing interviews and those interviews are on Zoom because I'm talking to people all over the world, all over America right now. I won't go that deep into all over the world, but you know, these are people that have traveled the world and they know many things about many things that we talk about on this podcast. Texas, traveling the world, right? That's again the point of expanding. So let's talk about summer's arrival, because I think there's going to be a ton of festivals in the summer. I don't know how many festivals I'm going to be able to go to. You know, I'm like looking at the festivals and I'm looking at the timing and I'm like, am I going to be in town for these things? But then I'm going to be in different towns on different days, so maybe I'll be able to go to different festivals. But regardless, I'm grateful for summer's arrival because the days have been real cold, and hot days are also really uncomfortable, especially in this household. Like the air conditioning and the window situation is neither here nor there. First of all, I just want to say I'm grateful to have been fed. Just a little tidbit. Again, we sustain our energy by eating 3 meals a day as best as we can, and asbestos, sorry. But yeah, I feel privileged in those ways. And the arrival of summer, even though the summer can induce heat stroke and yada yada yada, I'm just grateful for the fact that there's going to be longer days, and you know, you're going to be able to go outside and swim. Like I just learned how to swim, right? So yeah, that's that. Longer days, that's another thing that I'm talking about apparently, but I already pondered that. So wow, look at us. We're already ahead of the game. So yeah, more music. How do I cultivate this? So for some reason, like 2 weeks ago, I feel like, or maybe even last week when we were on the podcast, I was talking about how I need to make music, or maybe I've been talking about this for a long time, and a lot of people have been expecting me to make music, especially because they've been watching my podcast and my project and they're interested in my life for whatever reason. Thank you guys, by the way, for being interested in my life. You guys keep me going, my supporters, my community. I have a lot of mental illness, and I don't really feel like I talk about that a lot on the podcast because I feel like, why bring up negativity? And you know, it's not even negativity, you know, it's just like anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, autism, ADHD, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, personality disorders in general, eating disorders in general, right? All of these things are difficult to deal with, executive dysfunction, but for some reason, you know, as the weeks go on, I feel like in a month and a half, like I'll be ready to make music for some reason, like everything will be in place, like for some reason, the way that things are going, the cycle that's continuing, but the game keeps getting pushed harder and harder and higher, the goals and the goalposts, right? So I feel like we keep saying like, oh, it'll be 2 months, but anyway, so we bought a Diablo. I'm gonna say that randomly because that's a part of Jugglefest, and this is festival time, right, that we're talking about. And that's like this Chinese yo-yo. It's a lot larger. I mean, you can have smaller ones as well, but typically you use like 2 strings and you do this like little dance with it. But you can make a lot of crazy creative movements with it, and I really like the tricks that people were doing. And there was like a team, like people get crazy with it, you know, like I've never seen like a juggling team. Like this was a juggling festival that I had been to. But yeah, you know, I'm again investing a lot of time and energy into a multitude of different creative endeavors and skills, and like everyone does so amazing things, and people are performers of all sorts of crazy things. So I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I invest my time and energy into being a better creator, being a better artist? And so yeah, organizing festivals versus politically organizing, I feel like it's not much difference. And, you know, I feel like lacking in the organizing world and community. I've been focusing on my podcast, and, you know, for the last couple of years, I've been focusing on getting my studio together from vending, and I got a lot of money together, and now here I am with a studio, and what am I doing with it? I mean, again, I'm cleaning my room. I'm trying to create the area to be not just the room, but like, you know, creating it in my life to make more room for it, because I feel like you have to have the love for it, you know, the energy for things to be able to do it. So yeah, that's been happening. Otai, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I have been so behind on so many things. I have been behind on my messages. I have been behind on my life. And I just feel like I have been lacking so much. And if you continue to write articles, thank you so much. If you don't, regardless, thank you so much. Everything that you have done for me, your support means the world to me. And I just get encouraged again endlessly. Otherwise, I would not be here. But yeah, I feel like, you know, we should organize more political marches and more events, and we should organize more musical festivals, and we should connect more and get together with our communities, because if we're not doing that, then what are we doing? And we should organize locally and think globally, right? You know, what we do here matters, and how we affect our neighbors matter. And if we're not like loyal, and if we're not taking care of our communities, and we're not like participating in the justice system of our communities, like not saying like the governments, but if we're not participating in like taking care of individuals who have been like affected by creeps or assaulters or abusers, you know, then we're not doing anything. And I know that we shouldn't be focused on like a victim mindset, and like, yes, we should be survivors, but we also shouldn't be surviving every single day. You know, we should be thriving. And yeah, we can be thrivers after an abuse or after an attack or something. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that people aren't going away for violent crimes. You know, they're going away for drugs and things that need help, you know, like mental illness. And the people that do violent crimes, yeah, maybe they have mental illness as well, but a lot of times they use that as an excuse and get away with staying in community, and the people that are abused and hurt do not get heard and do not get helped. And yeah, you know, I have luckily been safe for quite some time now. I mean, just a couple months ago, some instance did take place in my life, and the people in my life that know me and love me are aware of this. But at the end of the day, you know, I think we need to do more, and we need to do it faster, and there's an urgency happening here, and there's a reason why I'm a part of this system, you know, why all of us are here. You know, there's a reason why I don't think like certain people's information or their projects go anywhere, maybe because they're stifled and people are more interested in the information that's distracting, unfortunately, right? So yeah, oh, that's interesting. I wrote grassroots organizations act locally, think globally, because again, you know, people have been hurt, and then there's musicians that are uplifted, put on a pedestal, and it bogs down to the fact that we're paying for those people to support people from different countries and different areas. And it's like, are we supporting the people that are living in your day-to-day area? Like, I know we can help multiple things all at once, but are we actually doing those things? So yeah, I just want to continue the conversation at all points in time, because again, I believe in free water and free housing and taking care of your neighbor. You know, a lot of people don't believe in these things. Free electricity, you know, like, we're putting people into this world who don't even want to be into this world, and we make it hard for the children. We make it hard for each other. And it's like, we make it hard for people who have trauma to take care of future generations, because we don't take care of ourselves and we don't take care of our children. So yeah, it's an urgent global crisis. And Black Lives Matter, you know, again, grassroots organizations, supporting your local food bank, all of the things matter all at once. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to, again, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to do all the things all at once, but I'm saying we're supposed to do more. And yeah, we're doing all that we can. And I think that's why, again, I show up here, so we can continue that conversation. I can continue to be part of that conversation. I feel like I'm not always the greatest individual in this conversation, because I feel like I'm complicit in a lot of my own actions, because again, we have to put food and water on the table, and that's the capitalistic society that we've created. But again, I think that we can break out of this. And yeah, I do my best to invest in my communities, and sometimes I feel like I don't do my best, but again, I keep showing up. I feel like every day that we show up, that we say something, that we allow ourselves to look like an idiot or fail, that's a day that we're doing better, you know, because it's not about success, it's about the journey. And yeah, I'm tired of the situation that I'm in. And yeah, I think a lot of people in your city are probably tired of the situation they're in, and their house is on fire, you know, mentally, emotionally, physically, and in a lot of other ways. And yeah, I just want to thank my amazing artist friends. That's the last thing that I want to say, because I have had months of doing interviews, and I have been struggling so much to get conversations going. But you know, I don't have a car. I just got a check in the mail for my car. So now I have to look for a car, and looking for a car when you're already so emotionally distressed and you have a concussion, and you know, 3 days worth of work, or sorry, in 3 days it feels like 1 day's worth of work. Nowadays it feels like 2 days feels like 1 day's worth of work. So like, things are getting better and I'm catching up, but it's like, again, I feel like I'm dragging myself along. Like, there's a future version of myself that's like literally like throwing myself forward, and like another future version of myself catches myself and like keeps throwing that version forward, and I just like keep jumping to these parts of myself. And you know, eventually I'm sure that I will get to feeling like 1 day's worth of work is done in a day, and you know, then there will be a day where I feel back on my consistent schedule, which was, I felt like I was doing 4 days worth of work in 1 day. And you know, that's not like typically profitable or like realistic, you know. That's like, you may be harming yourself. But also, like, when I was getting things done, again, I felt closer to making music. And like last year around this time, I was recovering from 2 surgeries back to back, you know. And then March came, and then April came, and then finally things started to normalize with my life, and I started to make friends in Austin after living there for a year. And then all of a sudden I was getting uprooted again when I had just started to make roots, and I was like, okay, so I can't make music in that condition emotionally. So here I am, attempting to do my best to make music in this household, and I feel like everyone thinks that I'm lacking or slacking, and that is not the case, you know. I'm just trying to water my plants and feed myself and go to bed at an appropriate time and love the people that mean the world to me, and be there and show up and show face, and when my friends call me, be there for them and call them back. And yeah, there's a multitude of things that we need to do, right? I don't even know what we're going to be talking about next week. I had an interview planned to be in person. Inshallah, hopefully that can still be the case. We shall see. We shall overcome. And guys, this has been a wonderful time. Thank you guys so much for staying here with me for this a little bit lower than 20 minutes. And you guys know what I'm going to say here for the last couple of minutes, as always, or seconds, or whatever. I love you guys so much. You guys are always amazing, an amazing audience, amazing friends, family, community, support system. Keep being amazing. Show up for yourself. I will do my best to keep showing up for you. And I want to say, educate yourself, eat healthily, you know, exercise, explore the world. Yeah, be intelligent, be intellectual, be skillful, do something new, go to a class, fail, succeed, brush your teeth, drink water, you know, take care of your hair, take care of your nails, take care of your skin, take care of your allergies, take care of your medicine that you need, go to the doctor, you know, take care of yourself. Ultimately, that's what that matters at the end of the day. That's all that matters. That you're here, and that you're queer, and that you're near to the people that love you the most, you know, emotional intimacy. I'm gonna go enjoy a bath and then get going on posting this, because y'all deserve that content weekly. I'm going to love myself, take care of myself, like I said, do that self-care. Y'all better do the same, like I said. I'm gonna sleep later tonight after, you know, obviously I take that bath, like I said, and post this, like I said. I also need to create my thumbnail because I haven't done that. So I'll go do that. And like I said, I'm going to take this bath. I love you guys. Bye-bye.